Right, well, I haven't got too long, Lily, so I'm going to sort of get started. I mean, I can start by saying, I honestly, that kind of opening sequence in the movie was one of my absolute favourite scenes in it. And I'm just wondering for yourself, I mean, you're playing, let's not be around the bush, you're playing Wonder Woman. I mean, how that has that kind of sunk in yet to be playing that character, even in her kind of early stages? It's such a significant character, not just in this movie, just in the kind of pop culture. It must be does it still feel quite surreal to know that your name is attached to a role of that sort of magnitude?
It didn't, but I think coming back for a second movie, it kind of sunk in then, and I was like, wow, actually, I am going to be an inspiration to young ladies. And it was absolutely fantastic, and just being a part of that, franchise in that movie, it's such a pleasure.
So tell me about the kind of auditioning process for a role like this, because I imagine it's one of those parts where there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of young girls sort of vying to be the young Diana. Can you recall much from that kind of process? Did it seem like quite a long and quite tiring one?
It was a long process. The auditioning process, it took a year and a half, I think, to get that call, to say that I've got the part as young Diana, and I didn't know what I was auditioning for. And I don't think anybody did. Gal didn't even think, I've watched a few interviews on Gal, and she didn't even know what she was, auditioning for. It was that top secret. And there was like a code name, and, you don't really get code names as much now, but like there was, yeah, it was so surreal. And obviously that was my first audition. So I didn't know like anything. Yeah, I didn't know a thing. So we were literally a beginner. And then we got just pushed into this whole and big world, and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Was there much kind of training that went into those kind of sequences? Because even though, I mean, it's so much of it is the magic of cinema, it looked like they require quite a lot of you physically, though, because lots of kind of running around, jumping. I mean, you must have been shattered at the end of the day's shoot.
Yes, well, it was very fun, and I never really got bored. Like some children may get bored on stuff like that, but I didn't really get bored because it was just so fun, and I was already active, and I love running, and I love doing dangerous stuff basically, and I obviously show jump outside of acting and everything, so it kind of became, well, second nature really. And we had 6 months of training before Wonder Woman 84 even like put a camera in front of our faces. So there was lots of physical side of things, but I wouldn't say tired. I was just kind of like I don't know, it was that fun, you didn't really think about being tired. So you just kept going and going and going, and it was so fun. It got funner each stunt you'd done. So yeah.
And how was Patty to collaborate with on this movie? Because obviously she's what we see is such a wonderful vision from her. I mean, it's such a great film and sort of great canon of films that really sort of show up so much of her personality in that. And so, what's she like to work with and on these movies?
Patty is amazing, and what she has created, and her visions on things are just amazing. Like I wouldn't, anybody couldn't have thought of these amazing shots, and she's been such a really good family friend, and her son Asa, we've been really good friends. The whole family has become a really good family friend, and she's helped me so much, and she'll always be thanked for starting my career off, and well, creating Wonder Woman, I guess.
Yeah. So did you get the chance to spend much time with Gal at all? Because obviously, you're playing her in the kind of, I mean, your characters generally wouldn't meet as much. So I was just wondering
Yeah, of course.
if you get the chance to kind of spend much time with her at all.
Well, I did on her days off, and when we both had a day off, which was kind of very rare. She was so busy all the time, but we kind of went whale watching, and then we went on a boat and in Tenerife, and we didn't get to see each other as much in London as we did abroad. But yeah, it was, she's so kind and so nice. So it was just lovely to spend time with her. Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned earlier about the kind of how big a kind of inspiration the character of Wonder Woman is to so many young girls around the world. I wonder who's your biggest kind of female inspiration in your life?
So my mum is a big inspiration to me. She is amazing. She has, she's brought me up to the person I am today, and I will always love her. And yeah, she's amazing. And I look up to Gal a lot, as she's so down to earth and so humble, which I would, she's an inspiration. And probably Millie Bobby Brown as well.
So when obviously you're in these two kind of projects, you once was your first thing you've ever done, and now you came onto this sequel, kind of having been there and done it, so to speak. So did you feel more confident and more comfortable in your surroundings going into this second movie?
Yes, I did. Well, Wonder Woman, we were kind of like the outsiders, really. We didn't really know what we were doing there, or we didn't really know the routine of it, or now we have a little bit of a better understanding, not like a whole understanding, but yeah, I have a little bit more experience. But it was I was a lot less relaxed on Wonder Woman 84, as Wonder Woman was my first movie, and I literally thought I just had a bit where I just walked past the back of the scene, and that's what we were expecting, and was amazing to me, and and then my first day shoot, I was like, the camera was like right here, and I was like, whoa, this is a little bit bigger part than we expected. And then it kind of just went from there, and we stayed out there for 4 months in Italy, and yeah, it was really cool and amazing.
So do you reckon you could be back for another one? I mean, it's obviously it depends on how many sort of more flashbacks they want to do and how old they want Wonder Woman or Diana to be in the flashbacks. But is it something you would like to do for a third time?
I would love it. Fingers crossed that I get the call. But I even if I don't, I've got a few things that I'm looking forward to anyway. But I think it would be amazing to come back for a third movie and make even more better memories, I hope. But yeah, it's, again, like you said, it's whether or not they want to go, how far back they want to go.
So how did you commemorate the kind of the release, or the sort of small sort of theatrical, obviously, but as a result of the restrictions and now the home entertainment? Have you had a chance to kind of, I don't know, I interviewed an actress back earlier in the year, and her mum made a little red carpet for her, for example. I wondered if you've had a way, because obviously what you've not been able to do with this film is have the traditional red carpet kind of traveling around the world. So I wondered, yeah, if you and your mum or you and your family have had a way to celebrate the release of the film at all.
Well, the first release of the film, I and my mum and I, my whole family, done a private screening for me and all my friends and family, and it was absolutely amazing. And it was, we watched it, and everybody went crazy when they seen me. And then this time, obviously because of COVID, I've been in 6 movies now, and I haven't been to one premiere. So I have, that's something that I need to tick off the bucket list. But yeah, so I'm pretty kind of bummed about that, because in the Wonder Woman premieres, lots of things happened, and that I couldn't go, and then it was cancelled, and then I was shooting another film at this time that the thing is on, so we couldn't get back. And yeah, it was crazy. But this time, I hope when things come back to normal, and when we're out of lockdown and COVID is done, put to bed, we can hopefully have a premiere of that, and I would love to be involved.
And 6 films. I mean, you're getting quite experienced now. I was like, I mean, most people your age don't quite know what they want to be when they're older. I mean, when I was 13, I hadn't 14. I hadn't figured out at all what my sort of future was going to be. But I guess you've kind of started your career so early. I mean, do you know already, would you say at this stage, what you want to do for the rest of your life, or is it still very early days?
Yes, I ask my friends sometimes, and I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? And they're like, I really don't know. And I'm like, gosh, I do, like, wow, I can't believe that I've got so many dreams ahead of me. And I'm just kind of chipping away and trying to get there.
Yeah, I mean, what do your friends make of having a friend in a movie? I mean, I've sort of told a story before, but I once scored the winning goal in a kind of school cup competition in football, and I went to school the next day, and I felt like I was a celebrity. I mean, and that was a really minor sort of football tournament with about sort of 10.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how is it to have this kind of role and have this job and balancing that with school and with friends?
Yeah, my really close friends, they don't really talk about it much, and I think that's nice. Like, that's normal, and I wouldn't have them as close friends if they didn't really talk about it. Like, we just hang out and we never talk about it. We just joke around, and I love that, because I'm always talking about it, and I love doing interviews and I love talking about it away. But like when I've got a friend here, or when I go to some friend's house, I just be myself, and well, I'm always myself, but like I just joke around, and yeah, it's they and then I'm homeschooled now. But when I did go to school, some kids took it the wrong way. Some of my classmates didn't appreciate it as much. They didn't really see it as an achievement. But you're always going to get that. So I kind of learnt to live with that, really. But yeah, I'm homeschooled now because I'm just really busy now in 2021, so hopefully I can return to school and get a little bit of normality when things sort of calm down, really. But no, I with kind of schoolwork, we homeschooled for a reason, because I was obviously very busy, and it was really, really hard to balance schoolwork because I was off school more than at school, which is not great, but and we had so many days off, so it was kind of just the right decision to homeschool. So yeah.
Well, I can say one thing, they're wrong. It's an incredible achievement. The kids that didn't think it was, I mean, what you've done is remarkable, and you're brilliant in the film. So my final question to you really is, you mentioned a busy 2021. I just wondered what you've got sort of lined up for this year.
Well, I can't really say at the moment, but if keep following my social media, and it should come out in kind of November, December times this year. So yeah, but I kind of, it's nice to be a little bit different than kind of young Diana, because it's a role that somebody wouldn't really expect from me.
Cool, brilliant. Well, best of luck for all of what you've got lined up.
So much.
And hopefully one day we'll be able to I'll interview you again for another Wonder Woman film or something, who knows.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking.
Cheers, and bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey